Hello, my name is Troy Giles. I'm a doctor of chiropractic, and today I wanted to talk to you about two cases that we had this last week of ear infections. One of the patients called me. The patient's mom called, and literally I couldn't even hear her talk because of the young child in the background screaming, just with seething pain. It was just, I could hear through the telephone line the intense pain of this ear infection. We brought her over, and all we did was adjusted her neck. That was all we did, and give her a few supplements. No, actually we didn't give her supplements, just adjusted and released the pressure off of the neck and the subluxated vertebra, the vertebra that's moved out of position. When that messes up, when that twists out of position, we call it a subluxation. Subluxation. Sub means below, lux means position. Just adjusting the vertebra and working through the full spinal, the full spine. We adjusted our hips on both sides and the mid-back through the areas that we found were an issue, and through the neck. And this was with a regular adjustment, a regular chiropractic pop, not with a pro adjuster, but with a regular adjustment, within literally 2 minutes. Because by the time she got to my home, she wasn't crying anymore. So she had already started a bit, but the adjustment helped significantly. With the patient that I just finished, just before I started to film here, was scheduled tomorrow for ear tubes, having tubes placed in the inner ear. Realizing that when you have ear tubes placed in the ear, the idea is to remove the pressure, is to create an outlet for the extra pressure that's in the ear to drain through. If this is, in fact, Tyler, let me show you this. Let's look at this paper right here. If this, and in fact, actually, this is the little thing I drew for the patient. But come over here. Can you see on this one? If this is the drum, that would be the size of the drum. The tube is literally that big of the drum. Now, research says that the drum, that the hearing is not affected. I can't believe that, because if you have that big of a hole in your drum, it just doesn't make sense to me that there's not going to be some problem. But now with the hole in the drum, the inside pressure is able to leak out and then come out and dribble on down and out through the ear canal, and sometimes even out on the face. In my opinion, if there's enough pressure behind the drum, over here behind it, then if there's too much pressure, it's going to open up. It's going to rupture the drum, and you're going to have stuff flow out of that area. But this will heal. This comes back and will heal. The actual drum is only three layers of cells thick. Okay, it's only 3 layers thick. So when it finishes cracking and letting this out, it will just kind of come back on, and away you go. You've just healed it back up together. The tube is a permanent issue. Now the tubes will fall out. The tube actually kind of looks like an H. I got this from going into the ER. Whenever the ER doctor talks to you, he's always drawn on that face paper. Anyway, the tube itself kind of looks like this. Okay, here's the tube. So this would be the drum. And so this is able to fit on the inside of the drum, and this is on the outside of the drum. But the pressure is released here. Well, the cutting a hole into the drum or putting a tube in the ear is like taking the fire bell that's ringing outside of my office. When there's a fire inside my office, the fire bell out here is ringing, telling everybody, hey, there's a fire in there. Taking a big sledgehammer and knocking the bell off makes it so that everybody outside thinks the fire's done, but the fire continues to smolder in here. What I'm saying to you is, it's never an inner ear issue. It's never a problem with the inside of or the pressure in the ear. That's a symptom. That's a symptom of lymphatic swelling. The lymph throughout the body would be full of stuff like undigested proteins, fungus, bacteria, parasites, whatever, usually from a leaky gut. Or this patient I just saw just a minute ago was definitely allergic to dairy. So that would be cheese, milk, whatever. She had allergens to that we picked up on the scanner. She also had a lot of birth issues, and her neck was definitely out of position. This is only an 18-month-old. She's just barely toddling, just barely walking. I mean, she's walking, but she's unsteady. And so what we did with the Pro Adjuster, in fact, this is still from her when I was working with her, we just put on the small infant adjustment, which is very tiny. Compare that to the normal, I don't see mine. Compare that to the normal size. This is able to go right down her back. We went right down her neck, using the Pro Adjuster to check to see where the problems were, where the fixations were. We then went down and were able to adjust right above each of the vertebrae, and she just soaked it up. She literally just relaxed, and she started actually to sing, making little cooing noises. It was amazing to me. We went then down the mid-back and into her low back. We adjusted whatever the computer showed me that was stuck with a high sine wave. So now we've got her well adjusted. And one of the interesting things is on the back of her neck, we actually took this one right here and we put it right on the back of her neck, and as I was working on it, let me show you that real quick. That was like this. She just leaned right back into that and just let it go. And what we did is we went right across the back of her head, raising and lifting the back of the occiput up, causing there to be openness and all the way through here. We then went all the way around her ear, back along the ear through here, all along her jaw, and just opened this up, getting this to move. I'm expecting that her mom will notice in the next few hours or so, she's going to start to drain. Her nose will clear up. She'll start to see some major changes there. So we also found out, because of the antibiotic therapy that she's had on a chronic nature, she also has fungus in her gut, throughout the lymphatics as well. So we gave her some antifungal, some good acidophilus to reestablish the good bacteria in her gut. Now we're talking about cause, not just knocking the fire bell off the wall. Puncturing the eardrum and putting a tube in is just the symptom reliever. What's causing that to back up and pressure and have fluid in the inner ear? Her eustachian tubes, which are normally draining that, would be plugged because of the pressure around the eustachian tube, because of the lymphatic swelling in the area, which can be relieved by adjusting the neck, doing some massage, getting the massage to drain and draining the pressure out of here, and getting her away from things that are allergic to her, the dairy, the other things that are an issue, and then dealing with the cause, which in this case the major cause is fungus rather than bacteria or virus. That's what our scanner showed. So amazing stuff. Inner ear infections do not have to lead to tubes. That I think is medicine's way of relieving the pressure, and the kids feel much better with tubes in because the pressure is relieving all the time. But you're not doing anything for cause. Think about cause. Okay?